Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
We love to get our hands dirty with all sorts of data, and today we're tackling something I think a lot of us think about, especially here in Georgia.
Yeah, for sure.
What does it really cost to live comfortably here? Not just making ends meet, but actually enjoying all the good stuff Georgia has to offer.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today.
So we've got some interesting numbers from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, and then some real-world perspectives from our friends over at Georgia Safe Retirement Planners, just to kind of round things out.
They always have such great insights.
They do. Okay, so get this. The Bureau says the average Georgian spends over $43,000 a year.
Wow, that's a pretty big chunk of change.
It is, right. But then when you break it down, it gets even more interesting.
Like what kind of interesting are we talking?
So housing and utilities are about $7,500 a year. Healthcare is around $6,600.
Okay, so that's a good chunk of that 43,000, but what about the rest?
But that's where it gets kind of mysterious. The other category is a massive $24,500.
Like what does that even mean? What are people spending all that money on?
Right. It makes you wonder. And that's where I think, our expert can shed some light on things.
Well, it's true. Those averages don't always tell the whole story, right? Because individual situations in Georgia can be so different. It all comes down to where you live and what you're aiming for in life.
Totally. Like Georgia's got those stunning mountains,
Yeah.
the coast, amazing cities like Savannah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe that other category is covering weekend trips.
Yeah.
Incredible food experiences, exploring all the cool stuff Georgia has to offer.
Yeah. It's not just about paying the bills. It's
Yeah.
about that extra something that makes life here unique.
Exactly.
But okay, let's get back to those necessities for a minute, because housing, that can be a real budget buster in Georgia.
Oh, tell me about it.
The median home price is over $300,000, which is less than the national average, but still.
That's a lot of money. What if you're renting?
Well, then you're looking at about $1,280 a month for the average two-bedroom apartment.
Okay, again, lower than the national average, but...
But location is key, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta's going to hit your wallet a lot harder than, say, a smaller city like Albany.
Oh, for sure. There's a huge difference.
So let's say you're really aiming for that comfortable lifestyle here in Georgia, not just getting by.
Right, not just scraping by.
Our sources suggest a single person needs at least $44,800 a year, and a family closer to $59,000.
And that's just for the basics, plus a little wiggle room.
Exactly, to cover those essentials and have a little breathing room. Yeah.
It's important to remember that those figures are based on the famous 30% rule, meaning your housing costs should ideally be no more than 30% of your income.
Oh, that 30% rule always comes up. Why is that so important?
Well, if you go over that, you might start feeling what they call house poor, which basically means you're struggling to enjoy other aspects of life because so much is going towards housing.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about affordability in the moment. It's about your overall well-being.
Exactly.
Okay, but then there's healthcare, which I've heard is a bit more expensive in Georgia. Is that true?
It is a little higher than the national average. Yeah.
But
Groceries and transportation tend to be a bit cheaper here, so it might kind of balance out depending on your lifestyle.
okay, so it's not just about one expense. It's about how it all fits together in the big picture.
Exactly, and that's why planning is so important.
That makes sense. But thinking about the future, especially when it comes to finances, can be kind of daunting, right?
It can be, but trust me, it's worth it, thinking about your long-term goals, creating a budget, maybe even using a retirement calculator.
Yeah, that stuff can feel overwhelming, though.
It doesn't have to be, though, because you don't have to go it alone, and that's where expert guidance can be invaluable, especially for something as important as retirement.
Yeah, like our friends at Georgia Safe Retirement Planners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are a fantastic resource, and you know what? They offer free consultations.
Really?
Yeah, to help you figure out where you stand now and create a roadmap to reach your financial goals.
That's amazing. And they've been doing this for over 15 years, so they really know their stuff.
Oh, yeah, they've got a ton of experience.
So they can help with budgeting, saving, investing, the whole 9 yards.
And they'll even create a personalized plan that takes into account your unique situation.
Wow, that's impressive. Especially if it's free to get started.
Exactly. It's all about making sure you have the tools and support you need to build that comfortable life you're aiming for.
Love that. So we've talked about these big averages, but also how much individual situations can vary.
For sure.
And that's where I think Georgia Safe Retirement Planners can really make a difference.
Absolutely. They understand that everyone's journey is different, and they're there to help you every step of the way.
So before we dive deeper into what that personalized planning looks like with Georgia Safe Retirement Planners, let's take a quick pause.
Feels good.
When we come back, we'll explore some specific strategies to help you achieve that comfortable lifestyle, especially as you plan for retirement. So stay tuned.
All right, so we know Georgia's cost of living has its ups and downs, right? Some things are cheaper than the national average, others are pricier, and where you live makes a huge difference in your budget.
For sure. And we're all about that comfortable lifestyle, right?
Right.
Not just surviving, but thriving, especially as we think about retirement.
Exactly. So let's get into some strategies that can actually help you get there, because it's one thing to know you should be saving for retirement, but actually doing it consistently, that's a whole other challenge.
It can feel super overwhelming. Where do you even begin?
Well, first things first, understanding your income and expenses is absolutely key.
Okay, so we're talking budgeting, right?
Yep. Making a detailed budget might not sound like the most fun thing in the world, but it's the foundation of any solid retirement plan. It helps you see exactly where your money is going and where you might be able to free up some cash to save.
Yeah. It's like that saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. So tracking your spending is a must.
Exactly. And that means being honest with yourself about your spending habits. Are there areas where you could cut back without sacrificing your quality of life?
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, maybe that daily latte becomes a weekly treat, or you explore more affordable entertainment options.
Okay, that makes sense. Entertainment can definitely add up, especially here in Georgia with so many fun things to do.
Right. But the key is finding a balance. Making conscious choices about what really matters to you. Maybe you're willing to spend a bit more on travel, but then you cook at home more often to offset those costs.
So it's not about depriving yourself. It's about aligning your spending with your values and your retirement goals.
Exactly.
I like that. But what about those bigger expenses like housing? We talked about how location plays a big role, especially when you're thinking long-term about where you want to retire.
Oh, absolutely.
Are there any strategies people can use to make housing more affordable, whether they're renting or looking to buy?
For sure. Downsizing to a smaller space or even considering co-housing options are great things to think about, especially as you enter retirement.
Yeah, your needs and priorities might change in retirement, so your housing should reflect that.
Right. It's about having the flexibility to enjoy those golden years without being weighed down by financial stress.
Speaking of which, we mentioned healthcare costs being a bit higher in Georgia. Any tips on managing those expenses, especially since healthcare needs tend to increase as we get older?
Definitely. Understanding your health insurance options is super important, especially Medicare and any supplemental plans you might need.
So knowing your deductibles, co-pays, all that stuff.
Exactly. That way you can make informed decisions and avoid any nasty surprises down the road.
No one wants to deal with surprise medical bills in retirement.
For sure.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the long game building those retirement savings. Where should people even start? It can feel so daunting.
It can, but starting early is key even if it's with small amounts. Remember the snowball effect. Compound interest is your best friend.
Compound interest.
Yeah, the sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. Even if it's just $20 a week, it all adds up over time.
So consistency is more important than the amount you start with.
Exactly. And don't forget about employer-sponsored retirement plans, especially if they offer matching contributions. That's basically free money you don't want to miss out on.
Oh, free money is always good. But what about people who are self-employed or don't have access to those employer plans?
Great question. Individual retirement accounts or IRAs are a great option for them. There are different types depending on your income and tax situation. A financial advisor can help you figure out which one is best for you.
So there are options out there for everyone, which is great news. But even with all these strategies, managing your finances and planning for retirement can still feel like a full-time job.
You're telling me. And that's where our friends at Georgia Safe Retirement Planners come in. They can help you navigate all the complexities and create a personalized plan that's just for you.
Whether you're just starting out or nearing retirement, they've got your back.
Exactly. And remember that initial consultation is completely free.
Free expert advice. You can't beat that. So let's get into the specifics of what that retirement planning process looks like with Georgia Safe Retirement Planners. What are some of the key things they help people with?
Well, first, they'll assess your current financial situation. They'll look at your income expenses, assets, debts, the whole picture.
Okay, so getting a clear snapshot of where you stand right now.
Exactly. And then they'll work with you to figure out your retirement goals. What kind of lifestyle are you picturing? When do you want to retire? How much income will you need?
So it's all about starting with a clear understanding of your current reality and where you want to go. But how do they help people bridge that gap between their current situation and their retirement dreams?
That's where their expertise really shines. They'll help you develop a personalized savings and investment strategy. They'll consider your risk tolerance, time horizon, and financial goals to create a portfolio that's designed to grow your wealth over time.
So it's not just about putting money in a savings account. It's about making smart investments that can help you reach your goals faster.
Absolutely. And they don't just set it and forget it. They provide ongoing monitoring and make adjustments as needed. As you get closer to retirement, they'll help you shift your portfolio towards more conservative investments to protect your nest egg.
That's smart. You don't want to take unnecessary risks when you're so close to retirement. But it's not just about investments.
Yeah.
What are some of the other important aspects of retirement planning they help with?
They also help you navigate Social Security benefits. Figuring out when to claim benefits can have a huge impact on your retirement income, and they can guide you through the whole process to make sure you're making the best decision for your situation.
Social Security can be confusing, so it's good to have someone who can help you make sense of it all.
Definitely. They'll also help you plan for those unexpected expenses that might pop up in retirement, like healthcare costs, long-term care needs, things like that.
So it's really a holistic approach,
Hmm.
taking everything into account. And it all starts with that free consultation, right?
Exactly. During the free consultation, they'll get to know you, your goals, and your concerns. They'll answer your questions, explain their process, and help you decide if their services are a good fit for you. There's no obligation, and it's a fantastic opportunity to learn more about how they can help you achieve those retirement dreams.
That's awesome. It sounds like they really prioritize building relationships and making sure people feel comfortable and confident throughout the entire process. So before we wrap things up and encourage everyone to reach out for that free consultation, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finish our deep dive into the cost of living in Georgia and share some final thoughts on how to build that comfortable life you deserve. So stay tuned. Okay, deep divers, we're back and ready to wrap up our exploration of the cost of living in Georgia.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, from those average expenses that honestly surprised me a bit,
Yeah, some of those numbers were eye-opening for sure.
to those budgeting tips, and how important it is to really plan ahead for retirement.
Especially with some expert guidance.
Exactly. Like our friends at Georgia Safe Retirement Planners, they can be such valuable allies in this whole financial journey.
I think of them like those experienced guides who know how to navigate those tricky financial waters and help you reach your destination safely.
Love that analogy. So let's bring it back to our original question. What does it really cost to live comfortably in Georgia?
Not just today, but in those retirement years too, right?
Exactly. And I think we've learned it's not a one-size-fits-all answer.
Definitely not. It depends on so many things: your income, your spending habits, where you choose to live your goals, and how well you plan for the future.
It's like finding that perfect balance, enjoying life now, but also making sure you're setting yourself up for a secure and enjoyable retirement later on.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about Georgia Safe Retirement Planners. They get that it's about creating a personalized plan.
No cookie-cutter solutions, right?
Nope. They take the time to really understand your situation, your dreams, and your concerns, and then they build a plan that's tailor-made for you.
It's like having a house built just for you, instead of trying to squeeze into some prefab model.
That's a great way to put it. One's going to be a lot more comfortable and give you more peace of mind in the long run.
Definitely. So peace of mind when it comes to your financial future, especially in retirement, that's priceless.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap for our listeners. What are the key things we've learned today?
Okay, first, Georgia's cost of living. It's a mixed bag. Some things are cheaper, some are more expensive, and location.
Exactly. Where you choose to live can make a huge difference.
Second, understanding your income and expenses is non-negotiable. You got to track your spending, make a budget, and get real with yourself about where your money's actually going.
No more burying your head in the sand,
Okay,
right?
nope. Third, planning ahead is crucial, whether it's for short-term goals like buying a house or those long-term dreams like a comfortable retirement.
Start early, even if it's just a little bit each week. Be consistent, and don't miss out on those opportunities for free money, like employer-sponsored retirement plans or matching contributions.
And last but not least, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what experts are for. Georgia Safe Retirement Planners, they offer those free consultations, personalized plans, and ongoing support.
So you don't have to navigate this whole financial world alone.
Exactly. So thinking about everything we've discussed today, where do you think you stand on that comfortable lifestyle spectrum in Georgia, both now and in the future?
Are you feeling good about your financial future, or are there some areas where maybe a little expert guidance could help?
And what steps can you take today to move closer to where you want to be? Even small changes made consistently can make a big difference over time.
So whether it's scheduling that free consultation with Georgia Safe Retirement Planners, finally creating that budget, or just setting aside a small amount each week for your future goals, it all counts.
You got this.
That's right. And remember, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. There are resources and people who can help.
The journey to financial security, especially in retirement, it can have its ups and downs. But with the right tools and support, you can create a life you love right here in Georgia.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the cost of living in Georgia, with a special focus on planning for a comfortable retirement. We hope you found this information helpful and insightful, and we encourage you to keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for that comfortable and fulfilling life you deserve.
And remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to create a life you truly love, both now and in those retirement years.
Until next time, deep divers, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep making those informed decisions about your financial future.
And hey, reaching out to Georgia Safe Retirement Planners for a free consultation, that could be the perfect first step towards making those retirement dreams a reality.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.